This show is brought to you by Directory.com, the safest way to hire a contractor.
And we are back. Keep drinking our morning coffees. I keep dying from my seasonal allergies. Just discussing insurance claims with you.
Yep.
Let's talk, Chris, about supplements. What is insurance supplement? And do you agree with my stats that national average, this is what I hear from supplement companies. We have in the roofing industry quite a few companies who specialize in insurance billing because insurance companies shorten the first estimate. And the numbers I've been hearing from those supplement companies are 30% on average, 30 to 40%. Is that what you see?
I would almost believe it's more, but I'd probably
least
say that's a very accurate number for sure.
So here's what usually goes down, and this is educational piece for my homeowners. Usually, you look at your insurance company as a hero. You have a claim, something bad happened to your house, and you don't know how much it costs. If I tell you right now, hey, how much to paint that wall, you wouldn't give me a number. You don't know how much floors cost, drywall, roof, right? And insurance comes and writes you a check for $20,000 and give you 11-page estimate. Well, a lot of times it's hard to believe because it looks impressive and it sounds like a lot of monies, but you need to talk to the contractors. And usually insurance company also have this kind of beef with the contractors, like trying to portray contractors as greedy, always ask for more. But I want you to think about it. If they give you $20,000 and it costs you to do $20,000, there's no profit. Will contractor take the job? Probably not. It will be a dumb decision to take. So they'll take the job. They'll say, I'll do it. They'll ask you to sign agreement that they will work for your insurance company, and then negotiations will start. I'll give you one example. Years ago, in 2018, we have a storm here. My father-in-law lives in Champlin, and they have a smoke, hail, siding, everything. And I met an adjuster on his house. He was actually from Texas. So a lot of times insurance companies will deploy their adjusters from one region to another. And I remember this guy, never been in the Midwest, just finished estimate. It was $9,000 estimate. And I asked him right there and then, why there's no ice and water? That ice and water line is $1,000. So he's like, oh, I forgot. I'll add it later, right? And that claim went from $9,000 to $15,000, right? Just because he did it super quick. He's from Texas. In Texas, you don't have to do half of the items. You need to understand these adjusters. They work, a lot of hours. They miss items. They don't know local codes. They do something quick and easy. They write a check. They write a claim. And then they hope someone will do it. The crazy part is you always will find someone to do it for that amount.
Right.
They either not going to be profitable or they're not going to do what they're supposed to do. So it's your right. I mean, I highly recommend you let your contractor supplement your company. It's not always a fight, right? Like something.
No, it doesn't have to be.
Doesn't have to be. Sometimes insurance pushes back. Sometimes we have to provide documentations and stuff. But supplements is okay. That's first thing that I want to establish here. When your contractor sends extra bills to insurance company, there's nothing wrong with it. It doesn't mean he's greedy. It doesn't mean that he doesn't know what he's talking about. It doesn't mean it just means he's doing his due diligence. And oftentimes he literally points out to what's missed originally.
Absolutely.
What's your average increase? Is it usually over 30%? What's your process? When do you start the work? Do you start with the work right away, or do you wait for the supplements to finish, or how?
Well, I believe that you just document everything up front. That it's all about documentation. When you cattle call adjusters, is what I always like to call it in Texas. You cattle call them. You bring them in here. You cattle call them in. They come in. They do the best that they. Listen, these guys are under a lot of pressure. They're under a lot of pressure from their higher ups. They're under a lot of pressure from the homeowners, and they have numbers where they have to get to so many people so fast. I mean, each one of these adjusters pays or either fee scheduled or they could be staff. I mean, there's so many dynamics. But the supplement amount itself, that when you look at, you have to define what the actual repair is. And if you don't take the time and you don't document decking that may not be a nettable surface, you don't have the ice and water shields that are codes. And, I don't expect every adjuster to know the building code, just like I don't believe that the contractors know their codes. I'm a code guy. So whenever they see a supplement from me, you see a code that says section R, blah, 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 whatever the number is, you're going to get the code. But I think what we have to do as contractors, good contractors will actually document everything, and they will write their estimate before you do the work. At least disclose what you're going to be doing while you're doing it. I like to go up front. I don't like there to be ambiguity, period. It's like, if I know the decking is going to be compromised and I know I can't put the roof on and I'm 90% certain of that, I want to send every single thing. But personally, I don't personally send it. I make my homeowner send it. It's their policy. It's my recommendation, but my recommendation can always be supported. I give documentation. You have to supplement, document, provide it to the insurance carrier, and it's up to the insurance carrier to do the right thing. And if they don't do the right thing, which a lot of times they don't, then that's when you get involved with public adjusters and attorneys, and then the whole process becomes complicated. And that
cost even more money.
Absolutely. And you know what? That is where I see the industry has gotten smart with the insurance side. They want to hold us up because they have unlimited amount of funds to
deny, delay.
That's it. The 3Ds, you know. But I mean, that's it. I mean, you want to come in here, you want to provide your estimate. You want to, just like a doctor pretty much knows what his surgical procedure is going to be when he goes in to do a surgery. Now, understanding that if there's a process in there and someone has cancer, you're not just going to stop. You have to perform the surgery that you have to do to protect your patient. And our clients are our patients. And for us, we're what gets them through this bad time. And the supplements, you do have to supplement. And used to, you didn't have to. I mean, I'll tell you, 20 years ago, I wouldn't even know what a supplement was. People wrote claims and they included overhead and profit on every claim. And then, you know what, there was always enough profit in there to where you didn't have to have supplement companies. Supplement companies have evolved because of what the insurance companies have done.
So insurance company created that third party that nobody needed, but now it's entire industry within the industry. Yep. Only not because of the contractors, because of the insurance companies. And actually funny, you said, about deny, delay. This week, we all heard hearings of Allstate, $65 billion company in front of the Congress. I absolutely loved it because everything we've been talking for years now on the big display. Hey, your CEO is making $30 million. Why you're not paying this $20,000 claim? Why are you asking your adjuster to manufacture, manufacture the fake documents to deny them, right? How do you call it? Engineer reports, all of that stuff. Like insurance companies being exposed last few years, and I love it.
It's horrible. I'm just glad that I don't own an insurance company today. I would have loved to own one 10 years ago. Today, I'd hate to see the stock owners next month.
If they would only do what's right. And a lot of times adjusters who come to your house, they do what's right. Absolutely. That adjuster oftentimes 100%. Will say, I missed that, send it to me. You need to understand that some damages aren't visible until the tear-off begins. Like they're not going to see the damaged plywood. It's impossible to look at everything. And especially if we have 200,000 homes damaged after the hurricane or hail, they need time to adjust. And if they spend 20 minutes on a job, it's impossible to do the proper inspection. So oftentimes they will say, send me the correct one. And by the way, we used the same software. It's not like we're sending them this ridiculous estimates and our wishes. We literally have line items that insurance companies agree to. It's just they're so fast. Like we use the same software, we have the same boxes. They literally miss it most of the time.
Well, they try to reinterpret what their own software says. I mean, let's just, if it says we're going to tear off the shingles, we're going to put the shingles back on, and it includes felt. Well, those are the two items it includes. But they, the pipe boots are not part of the tear off. So that's a different line item. The overhead and profit, it's not included. So that's a different line item. So, I find it I can tell you this. I have a lot of respect for these guys that climb on these roofs because I'm 52 and I can tell you right now, I was just on a 12 by 12 roof before I got on the plane to come see you. And I can tell you right now, it doesn't get any easier. And so their job is not easy, and they're in an emotional state when they show up because they have to deal with consumers that are in distress. And I can tell you this, I really want to challenge everyone in the industry to really don't come to a adversarial position when you both show up. I think you have to be there. No one is there for themselves at this point. We're there for the consumer. And if the insurance companies will go back to being that way and contractors not being so overly aggressive with adjusters, I think that we can all figure out how to make this work. And I will say that what's happened in Washington is going to put a lot of these insurance companies and contractors are seeing it. They're going to have to change their business model.
Absolutely. I also want to give a big shout out to one of the companies I recommend and a lot of my roofers who maybe don't supplement insurance companies. Don't leave money on the table. It's your business. You need to be profitable. The more profitable you are, the more homeowners you can help. I recommend a company called Contractors Supplement Solutions out of Orlando. We visited them a couple of years ago. I know a lot of contractors who use them. Find a good supplement company. We used to have, full-time employee to supplement. It's literally another layer, another part of the overhead. You pay someone $80,000, $100,000 a year to do it. We have to supplement, and it's for that reason, some contractors charge a little bit more in insurance companies than on the retail because it's a lot of headaches. It's a lot of time consuming. The amount of follow-ups and stuff, you either don't do it or do it but charge for your time. It's not free. When we come back after the break, we have one last topic to discuss to give you some tips. It's re-inspections. What to do if you feel like you got a damage, you physically see the damage, but that first adjuster came, inspected, and he denied the claim. What are your options? We'll share everything we know.